toucanet returns to activity beside the tree cavity as the morning light increases.
Repeated cavity inspection. Examining the depth. A secondary opening, but promising.
An intermittent explorer subtitle may briefly identify the return route.
The toucanet returns to the same location, checking the cavity again.
Cavity modification can be species-specific and should not be assumed beyond the visible behavior.
Extended pause, scanning canopy.
A brief camera operator subtitle may note that the camera cannot see the full cavity interior. Biologist voiceover. Species-specific criteria for cavity selection remain unverified. The toucanet examines the depth of the cavity with its beak.
It scans the canopy for threats, then returns to inspecting the entry.
Condições climáticas a mudar. Abrigo do toucanet em árvore oca. Toucanet busca abrigo. Condições estáveis novamente.
Resuming observation.
Repeated inspection is observable, while occupancy remains unconfirmed.
Resuming observation.
Repeated inspection is the observable behavior, while actual occupancy remains unconfirmed.
Surrounding forest terrain. Dense, humid rainforest with tall canopy. The toucanet continues its quiet observation.
The toucanet is assessing the cavity repeatedly, but we can't confirm breeding success. The sequence has followed repeated cavity inspection and exploration, with no unsupported conclusion about breeding. Welcome to the Amazon rainforest at dawn. Our expedition begins with this adult toucanet, perched quietly in the primary canopy. The first hours of daylight are important for activity and feeding. The toucanet carefully selects a food source, assessing its approach from the primary branch. It focuses on the fruit-bearing. The toucan's large bill presents a unique challenge in handling food.
The toucan pauses after its meal, observing the world around it. It's now time to find a new spot in the canopy.
You see, it notes the importance of moving between feeding locations. The importance of secure footing in the canopy is paramount for survival. Foraging requires immense patience.
moving slowly, searching every crevice, waiting for the perfect opportunity to find sustenance.
High in the canopy, this toucan demonstrates the precise grip needed for life above the forest floor.
It's incredibly difficult to follow a canopy bird without disturbing it.
Movement through the canopy links feeding areas. Patience is key to successful foraging. It is often the wait that yields the most rewarding result. The toucan uses its large bill to reach fruit that is otherwise inaccessible. It can pluck distant items without
The toucan prepares to enjoy its meal.
The toucan pauses to maintain its plumage. This natural maintenance is part of its normal daily activity within the rainforest.
The adult resumes its search, moving along the branch, peering into the dense foliage. There's a slight shift in the canopy.
It's tough to find food in this density. These clever birds use keen eyesight. Spotting the ripened berries required patience. Movement through the canopy is continuous and economical. The toucan's call rings out across the forest, a resonant reminder of the Amazon's diverse inhabitants.
The next stage of the story will follow the bird's social and reproductive behavior, staying true to what we observe without assumptions.
The social phase begins. They recognize each other.
Social interactions must be interpreted from observable behavior rather than human emotion.
Species-appropriate behaviors. Synchronized movements and close interactions define their social bond. Observe the delicate interaction with the surrounding branch.
Social behavior may involve pauses, and repeated approaches are common among these birds. The patience of long observation is crucial to truly understand their behavior. The pair transitions toward the primary nesting tree, initiating the exploration of their potential home. Suitable nest locations depend on the physical structure of the habitat. The toucanet approaches the cavity, examining it with curiosity. It's too early to confirm if this is the chosen nesting site.
This natural cavity provides a potential shelter or nesting location for the toucan.
The channel-billed toucans, having completed their feeding cycle, now turn their attention to the vital process of nesting, marking a new phase in our chronicle. Repeated inspection of a cavity can precede nesting decisions in birds. The importance of suitable shelter, while avoiding unsupported claims about exact requirements. Nesting birds still need to leave the site to obtain food. Toucanets require significant energy to sustain their nesting period, highlighting the importance of these foraging trips. The adult toucanet carefully grasps the food, then repositions it in its bill for efficient transport back to the nest.
The journey back underscores the remarkable cooperation vital for this species.
The toucan returns to its nesting site with food for its chicks. The toucans have selected this mature hardwood tree. One adult safeguards the nest while the other keeps watch. The toucan carefully selects a dry leaf and pushes it into the cavity. It readjusts its feet for a better grip, finding a position. The preparation is complete. The nesting site is established. We now move into the next phase, incubation. The primary tree cavity is where the pair begins the delicate incubation phase. The adult toucan departs, beginning a journey to gather food for the nestlings, a pattern essential to their survival.
A returning adult must balance feeding activity with time spent near the nesting site.
The toucan prepares to return to the nest, the vital task of feeding its young paramount. Our adult toucanet is returning to the nest, continuing the repetitive cycle of nesting and feeding. Every trip ensures that the adult's repeated returns are vital for successful nesting. Incubation requires long periods of stillness.
Rainforest conditions change naturally. Clouds it into the cavity. It readjusts its feet for a better grip, finding a piece.
The preparation is complete. The nesting site is established. We now move into the next phase, incubation. The primary tree cavity is where the pair begins the delicate incubation phase. The adult toucan departs, beginning a journey to gather food for the nestlings, a pattern essential to their survival.
A returning adult must balance feeding activity with time spent near the nesting site.
The toucan prepares to return to the nest, the vital task of feeding its young paramount. Our adult toucanet is returning to the nest, continuing the repetitive cycle of nesting and feeding. Every trip ensures that the adult's repeated returns are vital for successful nesting. Incubation requires long periods of stillness.
Rainforest conditions change naturally. Clouds soften the light around the nest. Sunlight gradually returns. Conditions return to normal.
The transformation from egg to hatchling is a delicate journey, spanning several weeks. Parental care now focuses on the vulnerable hatchlings. The parent ensures the chick's safety and comfort. The hatchling now depends heavily on repeated parental care. The parent's careful attention facilitates the gradual development of the young bird.
The nestling continues to develop gradually, its feathers emerging and its ability to move increasing each day. Coordination develops through repeated movement and practice.
The nestling takes its first tentative look at the forest, a glimpse of the vast world outside its tree cavity home.
The journey has just begun, marking the transition from nestling to fledgling, although this is its first brief exploration outside. Repeated wing movements help build coordination without claiming unsupported developmental mechanics.
Notice the importance of repeated small movements, honing their instincts before the longer flights. The fledgling prepares for its maiden voyage, a brave step toward true independence in the Amazon jungle. The juvenile toucanet successfully completes its first short flight, landing firmly on the adjacent branch. Fledging does not mean immediate independence. The young bird will still rely on its parents.
Young birds continue learning by observing experienced adults, watching their behaviors and techniques to survive and thrive in the Amazon canopy.
Foraging skills develop through practice.
Imperfect attempts are part of learning survival skills. It will take time to master the foraging technique, but this is just the beginning of its journey.
The juvenile toucanet is now handling food more confidently, showing improvement in its feeding technique. Growing independence can be seen through increasing self-directed movement and feeding.
The juvenile Toucan is now foraging independently, showing signs of its transition towards self-sufficiency in the vast Amazon canopy.
Survival demands adaptation, and this toucanet finds its own path. Moving quietly, he's approaching the established nesting site tree while leaves sway naturally. toucanet assesses the potential site, a typical behavior during cavity nesting.
The toucanet is checking the cavity.
Transition. Exploration phase initiated. The terrain here is challenging. We're observing the toucanet's behavior away from the primary site.
The exact suitability of a cavity depends on species-specific conditions. The precipitation seems to trigger a sheltering response, as anticipated. Okay, looks like it's settling in. Repeated cavity inspection is observable behavior. Looks like a promising candidate.
The steep, wet forest terrain surrounds us. The toucanet scans the surface for a suitable opening. The secondary opening offers a clearer view, but is it suitable?
The toucanet seeks higher ground, drawn by the protective canopy.
Cavity suitability cannot be confirmed from appearance alone.
The toucanet continues to revisit the cavity. The toucanet carefully tests the cavity's edge with its bill. Adjusting its claws, it probes the wood, checking the depth before entry.
The primary growth surrounds us, a magnificent canopy.
Understanding the ecological importance of these mature trees is crucial for the toucanet's habitat. The toucanet is approaching the cavity. This sequence shows an inspection, not confirmed nesting. Note the bill contact and cautious behavior.
The toucanet continues to assess the cavity, reacting naturally to the environmental changes. The evening is approaching quickly.